Understand you soon, it won't be long.
Keep on, keep running. Running and running.
So we're going to have a look at being able to write expressions from worded questions, and also how that relates to using algebra. Okay, so an example you can see on the screen is write an expression for the number of marbles I have in each case below. I have a bag containing marbles, then I lose 8 marbles. So if we can imagine that this is, here's my bag of marbles, okay, and I don't know how many marbles I've got in it, okay. Let's say, there you go, they're the marbles that's in the bag. Okay. If I was to lose 8 marbles, I'm going to take 8 marbles out of that bag. Okay, so I'm going to take 8 of those out of that bag. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now I don't know how many marbles started off in the bag, so I could use the variable m to tell me how many marbles are in there. So I've got m marbles, and I'm going to lose 8 of them. So my answer in this case would be m take away 8. Looking at the next one, we've got my brother has 12 marbles, which is m marbles more than I own. Okay, so this is the brother that has 12 marbles, okay, which is m marbles more than I own. So how many do I own? Well, this is how many marbles I've got, okay, and that's how many my brother would have, and he's got 12 more. So my brother has 12 marbles, which is m marbles more than I own. Okay. So I'm going to take my m, more than means I'm going to add those 12 there. So my answer would be m plus 12. So if we try and think about that, let's say that I own 7 marbles, and I'm going to say m equals 7. So I've got 7 marbles. How many marbles does my brother have? If my brother has 12 marbles more than I do, okay, if I add 12 there, he will have 19 and I will have 7. So m plus 12. So question 1a, I have C carrots. Sue has 6 carrots more than me. So 1a, I have C carrots, okay. Sue has 6 carrots more. So if I had this number and I add 6 carrots more, that is how many Sue has. She has my C carrots, but she has 6 more than I do. So for instance, if I had 10 carrots, Sue has 6 more than me, so Sue would have 16 in total. Question B. Harry has S sugar cubes. Zurab takes 3 of them away. So take away 3. Okay, how many sugar cubes does Harry have now? He started with S, he takes 3 away, so that is my expression. S minus 3. C. Daisy has P plants. Here's Daisy, and she has P number of plants. Iris has 8 fewer plants. So if I take 8 away from there, Iris has 8 less than Daisy does. That's Daisy's number. Take away 8 will equal how many Iris has. And the last one, D. Elmer has R rabbits. So there's Elmer with his rabbits. Sam gives him 20 more. So Sam's going to give him 20 more rabbits. How many rabbits does Elmer have? He had his original number of rabbits, and then he's got 20 more. So again, if Elmer had, let's say that he had 50 rabbits, he's got his original 50 rabbits plus the 20 that Sam gave him, so he's now got 70 rabbits. In each of these cases, the letter is there as a variable. We don't know how many it's worth, and we would have to try and calculate using that number and putting it into the context of each question. Let's go on to question 2. Okay. Question 2. Genevieve has D daffodils, which is 8 more than Mariella. How many daffodils does Mariella have? So let's talk through that one. Here's Genevieve. Okay. She has D number of daffodils. And it says in the question, back to the question, which is 8 more than Mariella has. So Mariella has Genevieve's number of daffodils, take away 8. So she has 8 less than Genevieve. Okay. How many daffodils does Mariella have? D minus 8. Question 2. Jessica has 6 shirts. Okay. Which is S more than Becky. So Jessica, we're told, has 6 shirts. Which is S more than Becky. Okay. 6 shirts. Take away the S. How many shirts does Becky have? So Jessica has 6. What does Becky have? Okay. So 6 take away S. C. George spends M minutes on his maths homework, which is half as long as Chris. So here's George, and here's Chris. We know he spends M minutes. We need to know how many minutes Chris spends. Okay. It tells me in the question George's is half as long as Chris. So let's start really easy. Let's say George does 10 minutes homework. That's half as long as Chris, so that must mean that Chris does 20 minutes. If he did 30 minutes homework, which is half as long, that means Chris does 60 minutes homework. In each of these cases, we are timesing it by 2. So Chris would be M times 2. And if we was to write that algebraically, we would write it as 2 lots of m. Either question is correct, either answer is correct. M times 2 is the same as 2m, but we prefer to see it written as 2m. And D. Emily has C chairs. So here is Emily, and she has C lots of chairs. That is 3 times more than what Sarah has. How many chairs does Sarah have? Now we're told that Emily has C lots of chairs, and it's 3 times more than what Sarah has. So let's say, and again let's put it a number to this, let's say Sarah has 30 chairs. Sarah has 30 chairs. Okay. If I times that by 3, Emily has 90 chairs. So if I wanted to know what Sarah's expression would be, I've got to do the reverse. I've got to do the opposite of what we're told. We know Emily is C lots of chairs, and we know if I go this way I'm going to times by 3, but what would happen if I went the other way? If I went from there to there, if I go one way I times, if I go the opposite I do the inverse, and I divide by 3. So Sarah would have 3 lots less than Emily. So C divide by 3. Example 2. I have M marbles. Okay, write it down as we get to it. I've got M lots of marbles. I lose half of those marbles. So to lose half of the marbles, we've got to think, how do I get half of something? I divide it by 2. I divide it by 2. But then somebody gives me 6 of theirs. Then somebody gives me 6 of their marbles. So they're going to give me another 6. And that's the answer to your question. Now I could think, let's try it. Let's say I had 10 marbles. Would that make sense? 10 marbles, if I halved it, I lost half of them, which means I'm going to take 5 away. So I've now got 5 marbles. Then somebody gave me 6 more, which means I now have 11. So if I put 10 into this equation, does that make sense? 10 divided by 2 gives me 5, plus 6 gives me 11, and that would work. Question 3. I'm going to flick between the screen and the book for this one. Okay, so Claudia owns F Films. Okay. And Barry owns twice as many as what Claudia does. So we're going to answer 3 questions. How many does Barry own? How many in total? And then, how many films would they own in total if they gave 3 away each? Total, if they gave 3 away each. So let's flick to the book. So Claudia owns F films. Barry owns twice as many as Claudia. So here's my Claudia's is F. Barry has got 2 lots of F. Twice as many. So if I add these two together, I've got 2 lots of F. How many in total? If I add these two together, I'll end up with 3 lots of F. And then C, what's the total if we gave 3 away each? Now we don't know how many films Claudia owns or Barry owns. Okay, we could again try and test it. Let's say Claudia owns 10, okay, and Barry owns 20. So if we had the total, we would have 30 films. Out of those 30 films, Claudia is going to give away 3, Barry is going to give away 3, so we would take 6 away from my total, which means Claudia would have 7, Barry would have 17, which would give me 24 films in total. Now the answer to this question isn't 24. Remember, we've put a value into Claudia and Barry's amount of films. But what we can do is we can take away the information that we've been able to work out. We take away Claudia's film and Barry's film, and in total, remember, that's 3F. So the total will be 3F take away. Now if we think how many we took away from each person, we took away 3, take away 3, which gave me -6. So if we took that 6 away, the answer to my question is 3F minus 6. Question 4. I have B flower bulbs. To find the number of flowers that should grow from them, multiply the number of bulbs by 3, then add 5. So question 4. I have B flower bulbs. To find the number of flowers that should grow from them, multiply the number of bulbs by 3, then add 5. So using BIDMAS, B times 3, remember we can turn it, swap it round, and the multiplication sign will disappear. So 3 times B, 3 lots of B, that's what this is, 3 lots of B, add 5. I can't combine the 5 with the 3B. Okay, that isn't 8B. You put 8B, well, that would be wrong. Okay, 3B plus 5 is the correct answer. Question 5. Alf has £18. So he starts with £18. He works in a shop for H hours. So we've taken the H, we've taken the £18. For each hour he works, he gets paid £8. So if he works 1 hour, he gets paid £8. If he works 10 hours, he'll get paid £80. Okay, so how much money in pounds does Alf have now? So in pounds, it would be 8H plus 18. Again, we're doing the multiplication first. H times 8 would turn into 8H, and then I would add the amount he starts off with after. Question 6. To hire a go-kart, you have to pay, number 1, 25p for each lap of the track you do, plus a fixed fee of £7. Okay, so 25p per lap plus a fixed fee of £7. Let me go back to the book for this one. I do n laps of the track. Write an expression for the cost in pounds of the variable charge. Okay, note on this one, in pounds. The variable charge is just the first bit. Okay, so on number 1, I've got 25p per lap. This is my variable charge. So first off, they want it in pounds, so I need to convert 25p into pounds by dividing by 100. 0.25 pounds. Okay, and remember that's per lap, so let's say L, 0.25 L. Remember there is a multiplication sign between there, but we don't have to put it, so 0.25 L. That's part A. Part B. Write an expression for the total in pounds I will have to pay. Well, that's the variable charge. In the question, remember it said plus £7, so I've got A plus the £7, so B would be 0.25 L plus 7. Let's check. If it's 25p per lap, 0.25 times 10 laps would give me £2.50, plus a 7 would give me £9.50. So if we said 10 laps, if the number of laps equals 10, 0.25 times 10 plus 7, multiply this out, would give me £2.50, plus the 7 would give me £9.50. So A and B.